Joanna. On behalf of Canadian SME, I'd like to welcome you to our small business podcast. How are you today?
No, I'm doing well, thanks. How are you doing?
Great, and very pleased to have you with us this afternoon. Now, Joanna, you're quite involved with LG Electronics on one of their most recent launch of an initiative. So, LG Electronics is officially launching Hustle Hub by LG Gram in Canada. Can you tell us more about the philosophy behind the Hustle Hub by LG Gram?
Yeah, sure. So the Hustle Hub by LG Graham is really a platform for like-minded individuals with the entrepreneurial spirit. So whether they are entrepreneurs themselves or just have that kind of craving to always be learning and growing and developing. It's really the opportunity for people to come together, to connect and to network with other people in their field. And so the philosophy behind the platform is really to provide a group and a community space where people can exchange, useful tips and tools, things like how-to guides and compelling videos and articles that range on everything from business to careers and marketing related topics. And really to provide a space for people to come together and to connect and to feel supported and to learn and grow with one another. And so basically what happens is that the Hustle Hub group members will, upon joining the group, will enjoy access to all of the resources and networking opportunities. And as part of it, there's also going to be the opportunity for the ability to interact with different subject matter leaders and people who are experts in their fields, who are going to take part in things like Facebook Lives, which is something that I'm really excited about. I'll be kicking off the Facebook Live series with them later this week.
That's exciting. That's a lot of good work there. Now, Joanna, what is your involvement with the LG Gram's Hustle Hub, and what inspired and motivated you to get involved?
Yeah, so I have partnered with LG Graham and with the Hustle Hub to act as one of their ambassadors. And as part of that, I'm helping them spread the word about the community and really be a champion and an advocate for communities like Hustle Hub and the importance that they've played in my own growth and development as an entrepreneur, as well as the role that they can play in the growth and development of aspiring entrepreneurs or maybe people who are just getting started in their journey. And so as part of my role, something that I'm really excited about is that I'm going to be taking part in their first ever Facebook Live event. And so really just giving people the opportunity to come through a Facebook Live and to ask questions about my entrepreneurial journey, to share any insights, tips, or tricks. And I think my whole philosophy around supporting entrepreneurs in general is that having gone through the journey myself firsthand over the past 10 years, I'm first and foremost extremely grateful for everyone who helped me along my way. And then also pretty determined to pay it forward and to be as open as I possibly can and to share whatever support, guidance, advice, encouragement that I can, so that ideally the path is just a little bit easier for those to follow.
Right. Now, you can't underestimate the importance of network and community resources when it comes to running a business. Joanna, how important are network and community resources when operating a business?
I think they're extremely important. And I think that, regardless of what industry it is that you work in, I think having access to a peer group and access to a network of community support is very important for your own growth and development, and also to stay in touch with what's happening in your field. I think when you couple that with something like entrepreneurship, that for the most part, especially in the early days, tends to be quite a solo endeavor. If you think about it, you're betting on yourself, you're taking a risk on your own future to kind of go out and do something on your own. And so it can be very lonely and isolating. And so I think when you look at it specifically in the context of entrepreneurship and freelancers, that it's even more important, because you don't necessarily have that built-in sort of aspect of community within your workplace. And so it's even more important to find other like-minded people, other people who are on a similar journey. And for me personally, when I think back on the different networks that I've had in the community that I've built over the past couple of years, one of the most valuable things that I found was finding other people who were either at a really similar stage to where I was in the company's development or my entrepreneurial journey, or like 1 or 2 years ahead of where I was, because the experiences were still so fresh that they could talk about it with fresh context and fresh eyes. And so, yeah, really, really excited about the prospect of being able to help provide that for other people.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. You need the right tools and resources enabled to, operate during these, very challenging times. And when you're starting a business, it's important to build relationships with other businesses and other communities as well. So great point made there. But on a final note, Joanna, can you share some practical tips for starting a business that you would, care to share with our audience or readers?
Yeah, practical tips. So I think the most practical tip that I have is to make something that people need, and ideally as large a group of people as possible. So really, really focus on what's the problem that I'm trying to solve, and what are going to be the 1 or 2 things that I can do to approach this in a unique way that does it in a way that's more meaningful to my customer than how others are doing it. When I look back at the success of Knix and what we've been able to accomplish, I think it's because first and foremost, we were solving a really, really big pain point for a large group of people. We invented the notion of leak-proof underwear, and that was something that so many people needed and wasn't being done. So I'm always a big advocate behind make something that a lot of people need. My other tip is to recognize that it's always a process and it's always a journey. And so maintaining a really, really close connection with your end consumer and your customer and going to them for feedback and constantly iterating so that you're always getting better is another thing that I think can often be overlooked. I think there's pressure in today's society to launch perfectly. And the truth is that you're never going to get it right out of the gate. And so iterating and getting feedback is so important. And then my final tip is really to find a community and a support group that can be there along on the journey with you. Because as much as it is about having a winning idea and having the right consumer base, one thing that really astonished me about the entrepreneurial journey is just how much it really has to do with believing in yourself and choosing to get up every day and to pour your blood, sweat, and tears, heart and soul into something that you are passionate about. And so I think that as much as you can do to nurture and protect that belief that you have in yourself, the more likely you'll be able to get yourself out of bed on the hard days and to continue to sort of be resilient and thrive.
Absolutely. No, I'm on the same page with you, Joanna. And I'm really glad we had the chance to speak about this crucial topic of, importance on resources and networking that is available out there to these small business owners, because this is so much to learn, so much to create awareness of. But thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule and being so insightful. I think our audience would be pleased by hearing from you. Thank
My
you.
pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.